Welcome to Rubin On Point, a podcast about cancer, resilience, and being human. I'm Dr. Dan Rubin, and together we'll uncover the true power of resilience, the strength to recover, adapt, and thrive through life's toughest challenges. Each episode will bring bold ideas, transformative practices, and inspiring stories that redefine what health, healing, and what the human spirit can achieve. And you're going to meet some really cool people along the way. If you're ready to turn obstacles into opportunities and live with greater purpose and courage, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Your journey to resilience begins now. All right. Mitch Marczewski, welcome to Rubin On Point. I'm Dr. Dan Rubin. I'm your host of Rubin On Point, and this is a podcast about cancer, about resilience, and most of all about being human. And we're going to talk about a really human factor today. We're going to talk to Mitch of the Nightbirde Foundation, and I'm going to save the rest of what it's for because this is a really special episode. Why do you think I cried 4 times on the way to this podcast today?
You probably listened to a song or watched an audition or something like that.
Well, yeah, who's with that?
Yeah, I mean, my sister.
Yeah. I've watched that audition. I ran into it myself, right? It was on America's Got Talent. What year was it?
2021.
Yeah, and it's not like I don't watch the show, but I do watch YouTube, and this came into my feed. I watched it. I was stunned. And then I watched it again. I was stunned again. I was crying. The judges were stunned because when she finished the song, nobody said anything, nobody clapped. The whole audience was stunned. Mm-hmm. But myself, I know Andrea, our manager at the clinic, who was at your benefit last night, neither of us can withhold tears when we watch it. And no matter how many, I'm going to watch it 50 times. Watch it here. So, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Yeah, whenever I watch the audition, there's something about it that really gets me. And if the audience hasn't watched it, I'm sure we'll link it in the show notes. Yeah. And I think there's just something very unique about the audition itself, where it's not just, like a great song. It's not just a cancer story. It's not just Jane. There's like some confluence of factors where it comes in. And if you I can't really describe it, but basically, Jane had stage 4 metastatic breast cancer when she walked onto that stage. Yeah. And
she was okay.
And she was okay. And she didn't let on. She didn't lead with it. Mm-hmm. The judges kind of almost had to draw it out of her, of like, what
and then they're like, oh, wait, so you're not a Christian? No, it's really important that people know that I'm so much more than the bad things that happened to me.
Yeah.
Boom, quote, for sure. Legend.
Yeah.
Legend quote. So let's play that quote right here.
What do you do for a living?
I have not been working for quite a few years. I've been dealing with cancer.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right.
Can I ask you a question? How are you now?
Last time I checked, I had some cancer in my lungs, my spine, and my liver.
Wow.
So you're not okay?
Well, not in every way, no.
You got a beautiful smile and a beautiful glow, and nobody would know.
Thank you. It's important that everyone knows I'm so much more than the bad things that happen to me.
Yes.
All right. Sing for us.
Good luck. Nightbirde.
I mean, just right there, like when she said that so calmly and happy, and look, I don't know you that well. I've known you for a couple of years. I mean, I totally can see that she was your sister.
Yeah.
How close in age were you?
We were like 20 some odd months apart. I was a little older than she was.
And you guys grew up in Ohio?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Would you still live there?
I still live in Ohio, yeah. I'm just outside of Columbus. We both grew up in a town called Zanesville, which is about 60 miles outside of Columbus.
What's Zanesville like? Or what was it like when you were growing up?
Yeah. It was just like growing up in a small town. But I think
like a farm town?
Sort of. It's more like southeastern Ohio, so it's more Appalachian than it is like like rural. Like there's still cornfields and stuff like that, but you're closer to West Virginia and like Pittsburgh than you are to like Indianapolis. So just grew up in a small town, but I think what was crazy was both of us, both Jane and I, and really the rest of our family too, we just really had big dreams. That we weren't just going to be like just small town kids. And Jane had a dream that she was going to change the world, like with her music and with her life. Like she just
When did that start?
knew it, just as long as I can remember. I mean, growing up, we'd be driving to church, singing together. We'd be going here, we'd be going there.
Are you good at singing?
I'm not Jane level singing, but we're a pretty musical family. I was a worship.
Wait, were parents singing on the way to church?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Yeah,
So
mom was like the choir director at church.
Okay.
So like we were kind of forced to be there all the time. So we were around music a lot, and it really became a big part of our lives. I was a worship director at our church for a long time before I did this. So I played guitar and sang, but I'm not like.
So you weren't on stage at church alone?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I do that pretty consistently. Still.
Have you written any songs?
I'm not creative like Jane could write songs and perform them. It's like you give me a song, I could probably.
Did you guys
play it.
perform together?
Yeah, we would sing together all the time.
Yeah. Can we talk about that history? Because I think if people haven't, first of all, people are watching this and they have seen the America's Got Talent audition with Jane. They're gonna be like, wow, I remember that. Mm-hmm. And then if they haven't, they're probably gonna go watch it afterwards because the links are all in the show notes. And maybe Olivia, are we allowed to play like a YouTube thing right after on this podcast? Like, because it's a YouTube clip. I don't know if we need permission or.
I could link it in the description, and then we could put one of those cards at the top, maybe.
Yeah, and I don't think. Copyright wise, it's fine because it'll just. If it's on YouTube and you're playing it.
Yeah. I wonder, can we just play it right after this so people who are watching the podcast can just go right into it? We're going to try that. So if you see it at the end of this podcast, then it's there. If not, click on the link that Olivia provided. I think the world needs to see it. Mm-hmm. It's just so touching in so many ways because the song was called "It's Okay," and it was. I remember when Howie was asking her, "What are you gonna sing?" She's like, "Original. What's it called? It's okay. What's it about?" Well, it's about the last year of my life. Like, oh, okay. And then he's like, "What do you do for work?" Or somebody said that, and she's like, "Well, I haven't been working for 3 or 4 years. I've been mostly dealing with cancer." And then I think Howie said, like, "That's okay," or something like that. And then they asked about how, and she's like, "But I'm okay, right?" And then they're like, I think Simon said, "Well, where are you right now in the cancer journey?" And she said that the response in her body where she had cancer. And then I think somebody said, "Well, then you're not okay." She's like, "Well, not in every part of my life." And it's like, I don't know that any of us are ever okay in every single part of our life. Right. So another legend quote. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's really, she had a really interesting insight into life for as young as she was. Mm-hmm. And I think that was why that audition resonated so much, not just in the cancer world, but just for everyday people, where she says, I'm so much more than the bad things that have happened to me. She said, "You don't have to wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy." Yes. She's got these quotes that they're not cancer quotes. They're life quotes. Yeah. They're mindset quotes. She didn't allow cancer to define her, and she didn't allow her circumstances to be the driver of what she was going to do. You see cancer patients obviously every single day. I deal, and I'm in that world a lot too. And most of cancer patients I interact with don't have the mindset to be I have stage 4 cancer, but I'm going to go walk onto a stage and I'm going to sing my heart out. And I'm going to pursue my dream, even though the doctors told me I don't have that much time. Why did she do it? Was that her changing the world? Yeah, I think it was really her way of making a big impact. And, the ability for her to get onto America's Got Talent really would give her the platform to do it. Yeah. Even though, things didn't look good. I think she passed away 8 or 9 months later. So it wasn't even there was this huge runway that she had ahead of her, health-wise. But was she on the show after that? She was on the show. So I got to walk you through the timeline. So she was diagnosed with breast cancer in her late 20s, and she was living in Nashville, and she went through all the conventional treatment. Chemo, radiation, double mastectomy, kind of rang the bell, good to go. No reconstruction? No. Yeah, she had reconstruction. Okay. She did, yeah. Reconstruction after that. And, we thought everything was clear. She's 27 years old, something like that. And she continued to pursue her music career in Nashville, and then it was late 2019, she was starting to feel some pains in her back, she wasn't feeling great, went in for scans, and we got the results back that it was stage 4 metastatic, liver, lungs, and spine. Liver, lung, bone. Liver, yeah. And so then when we finally got back down, she was at home in Ohio, went down to Nashville, the docs were like, "Yeah, you got 6 months,
there's really not a lot we can do. And they were like, there are other treatment options out there, but like most of them are probably not going to be covered by your insurance. So like, just
what is
figured out. Yeah, they were not.
So like, there's stuff. Here's a carrot to dangle in front of you, but you can't have it.
Yeah, basically. And so we were like, oh well. But Jane was like not a quitter, like as you could see from the show. Like she just wasn't going to give up. She just knew there was something else out there. And so when we went through that process of trying to find it out, we found a clinic in Southern California that was an integrative clinic that was going to give her a shot. But obviously, as you know, it's out of pocket from most of that. And so Jane and I and the family, we put together a GoFundMe to say, hey, maybe we'll raise 20 grand.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. And we raised like hundreds of thousands of dollars to that GoFundMe.
Incredible.
And this was like pre-America's Got Talent. Pre. This was before. This was 2020.
Wow. People that you knew or people that
that we didn't know, people that we knew. Like it was a very interesting thing because it wasn't one, we don't come from wealth, so it wasn't like we had to, dig something we could pull off of like money wise. And then but when you look down the GoFundMe list, it's like, I don't know any of these people.
Wow.
It kind of went viral online. It was very strange. But that enabled her to get to California to get into the integrative clinic. And then she blew past that 6-month mark. And then and she walked onto the stage. And so that was 2020. 2021 is when she walked onto the AGT stage.
How'd she feel at that time?
She was feeling okay.
Oh, that's our name. That's how you were just listening to it. Yeah, that's the name for Raising the Blind.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So tell us, let's go back to you guys growing up. I mean, because this podcast is as much about you as it is her.
Sure.
Growing up in a small farm town, any other siblings?
Yeah, 2 younger siblings. So it's me, Jane, and then Andrew and Caitlin. Okay. Are 2.
Are they involved with Nightbirde?
They are. Yeah, they're not as involved. They're both RNs actually. They went.
Okay.
My youngest sister, she knew she wanted to be a nurse, so she went to where did she go? Ohio University. She went to OU.
Okay.
She's not far. Yeah, so she went to Ohio University, became an RN. And my brother's story is interesting too because he moved to California to take care of Jane because I had 3 kids at the time.
So she was living there during her time at that time.
Okay. Yeah, she fully moved to Orange County. And so my brother, he was single, never married, software developer, and this was like right around COVID. And so like he just moved out, took care of her. And after Jane passed away in 2022, he had quit his job to take care of her. So like she passes in February 22. And so he's 30 years old. He's got to move back to his parents' house in Ohio.
Oh boy.
He's lost his job. Like he doesn't have a job because he quit his job. And the person that he's been orienting his whole life around for 2 years is now gone. So it's like a very interesting moment where, you can spiral pretty quick if you go the wrong path. But, he really he's had a lot of admiration for the healthcare providers and people. And so he went back to school and became a nurse.
Well, what kind of nursing is he doing?
So I think he's in pulmonary.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's at Ohio State University in Columbus.
What about your sister?
She's a float nurse. So she just kind of
kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Super skilled.
Yeah, she loves it. She doesn't like to get stuck in one spot.
What about you? What are you doing?
I just do the Nightbirde. The Nightbirde Foundation is my full-time gig. Yeah, full-time gig. And what's crazy about that, and this is because the whole thing's just not normal. This whole situation is.
Well, that's the good thing.
It's not normal. It's very interesting. Again, it's like when I think about it.
Do you like being not normal?
Yeah,
I like being not normal.
Yeah, same. I'm not knocking it. I'm just for me, it's like it's just we're sort of breaking all the rules, in a lot of ways, not intentionally, but
how so?
Well, it's like it'll be. I'll share.
Okay.
So so Jane passes in February of 22.
Yep.
And then we thought this was going to be a side project, just like.
Who's we?
We as our family.
Okay.
Our family thought, well, okay, like we have a little bit of money left over from the GoFundMe, not very much. Okay, like Jane's music will continue to make a little bit of money, not a crazy amount. So we'll just have a small side project that will help women with their breast cancer journey. We'll give them hope. We'll give them some grants, and we'll help them, kind of carry the same generosity forward from that GoFundMe. And it was July of 2022. The AGT calls us and they say, hey, we're going to do a show. We want to air Jane's audition again. Are you guys good with that? We said, yeah, totally. We appreciate the heads up. And it was Simon Cowell's top 10 golden buzzers that he's ever given in his whole career. It was like, that was the show. And so we were like, sweet. And they were like, hey, it's on at this day. You guys can watch it. So we sit down, we're watching it. Like half hour goes by, no Jane. Like hour goes by, no Jane. Hour and a half goes by, no Jane. And we're like, is she even on this show? Like, whatever. And we get to the last 10 minutes of the show, and Jane was Simon Cowell's #1 golden buzzer that he's ever given in his entire life. Wow. Like, I'm just full 17 or 18, however many years he's been doing America's Got Talent. And but if that wasn't crazy enough, the end of that show, like, you know, at the end of the clip where Jane walks out, you know, into the street at the end of the show, it kind of fades to black. It was like a 4-second slide. It said, in honor of Jane, go to nightbirdefoundation.org. On live television, network television. And I went from no donors and no like scope and not like I didn't have like I mean we didn't raise like $1 million, but you know I raised a couple $100,000 in like 6 weeks, so it was like enough of a boost to be able to really give us some momentum. And so my board came to me and they were like, hey, you know, it seems like there's some opportunity here to like really make a huge difference in the world and use Jane's story in life, and like obviously we have the ability to do that, so we really think you should quit your job and make that leap. So I quit in August of 22.
Wow, I didn't realize you were full time for 3 years.
Yeah. So it's been a little over 3 years. And honestly, when I got kind of was in the middle of that moment, I was like, I told my board no at first. I was like, I'm not quitting my job. Like, one, a couple $100,000 is not a lot of money in jet. Like, especially just scaling something. I mean, you have to have capital to do that.
Well, and you're giving it away.
And it's not like I'm reinvesting in myself, or like it's not my money, you know. So there was some difficulty there, but I had 3 kids and 1 on the way at the time. Wow. And I had a good job, kind of living my life, doing my thing. And my background is like, I was in politics and I worked in a church. Those were my 2 like things that I did in my life. So I'm, you know, great at dinner parties. You know, like I always tell people, you want to book me for your Thanksgiving, like I'm really great. Stir the pot. So like I had no like background in nonprofit work, but I think the mission itself called to me a lot of like, you know what, like this is a really unique opportunity to be able to do something that nobody else is doing, and in a way that nobody else is doing it. So to answer your question about breaking the rules, like most nonprofits start as a small or a business. Even here, like you start in your community, you have a local impact, and you start going regional, and you start going national, and your operations and your staff scale with your scope. You know what I mean? Yeah. We went from nothing in Ohio to a national donor base and a national donor base, and then even in terms of our impact, you know, we're doing things here in the Phoenix area, we're doing things in Nashville, we're doing things in LA and in New York and Houston and Austin, and so it's been unique having to think through how do I manage my time, how do I manage my fundraising, how do I manage my staff. Like because
of your staff,
I have 1 full-time employee and a couple contractors.
Yeah. So when you say we're doing things in LA, New York, I think you said Austin, Phoenix. Well, what does that mean? You're doing things like this is where your recipient pools are. So we have
yes and no. So like there's really three answers to that question. One, you know, I do have significant donor bases in those locations. So we have people that have pretty much raised their hands and said, hey, like we really care about you and what you're doing. Secondly, we have hospital partnerships there where we give our gifts of hope.
To hospitals.
What was that?
You said hospital
partnerships, yeah.
Why hospitals?
Mainly because when we realized that Jane's message of hope and encouragement and inspiration in her mindset, we realized how important it was to women who were struggling. Like I needed access to those women. So it's like, I can't just find, it's just no like.
So it's not clinics, it's hospitals.
So hospitals or, you know, and there are some like infusion centers and stuff like that that we partner with, but we give out what we call gifts of hope to ladies that are battling, and those gifts,
actually, can we go grab one of those? Olivia's going to grab one.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then, is the book in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a book. Yeah. Look at it all the time, but mine's at home. Right? Yeah, maybe you could read one of your favorite poems.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, yeah. So, while she's getting it, it's kind of funny she's not here. Like, are we supposed to keep talking? I still want to get back to Jane's life growing up with you. Yeah. Like, I think that's a big part. So you guys are singing, like all 4 of you kids are singing with your parents on the way to church?
Yeah, well, my youngest sister Caitlin was much younger, so she wasn't as involved. But yeah, it was just like music was just part of our lives, and and like in church, you have like youth group, and in youth group, they always need musicians, and they need people to sing, and they need people to play. So we were kind of in those roles as like middle schoolers and high schoolers of leading a band and learning how to play music and learning how to sing and being on stage, and like a lot of that was formative and stuff like that.
Was James sick as a kid? Like
no, that's what was
super
so
healthy.
wild. Yeah. It's like when we got the first diagnosis, in our mid 20s, we were like, this is crazy. We had no history of it. Like, there's no genetic. It wasn't like I think it was a triple negative, so it wasn't even like it was HER2 or anything like that. It was just cancer, just out of nowhere.
Literally
out of nowhere. So we didn't even have like a framework to deal with it because
was there any like EMF or funny radio waves or anything around?
I don't know. And she lived, the 3 places she lived primarily were, she lived in Ohio with us, and then she went to Liberty University in Virginia, like in Lynchburg, Virginia, and then she was living in Nashville. Huh. So I don't know what it was. I mean,
nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
And nobody has an idea.
I mean, we had our kind of our thoughts on it. Like she got some sort of, I don't even remember whether it was an injection or a patch, or it was some sort of birth control thing that she had gotten around that
hormones.
Time. Yeah, but that was like the only thing we could think of that was out of the normal. Of like, oh, it's not like she was on a pill. She did some sort of alternative version of birth control, but that was like the only thing that was like environmental in our minds.
And she wasn't sick leading up to it. She just all of a sudden got diagnosed.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, and it was one of those things where Jane, again, being the stubborn woman that she was, she found a lump, went in. Docs were like, "You're too young. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal." And Jane was like, she just kind of knew. She had that intuition, I guess.
Well, yeah,
she pushed
like your own body.
Totally. Yeah. She pushed and she pushed and she pushed, and finally were like, "Fine, we'll biopsy it because you won't leave us alone." And it was, I think she was stage 2 at that point.
Yeah.
So I mean, we wouldn't be here today if she would have listened to the doctors then. I'm just being like, "Oh, don't worry about it."
Yeah.
It would have been a different world for us. Crazy.
Okay, so then anything else on growing? I don't know why I'm hitting you about growing up, but I think it's so important because this is about your sister, and I think she's been a hero even posthumous for so many people. That I think hearing from her older brother about what things were like, because so many people are in the situation she was in, maybe gotten past the exact situation, are reading her poems for hope, are listening to her music over and over. I mean, I know I do. So that's why I'm hitting you up so much. Yeah. Like who she was, because we don't know any of that.
Yeah, totally. And I think there are these threads through her life of like, one was she just knew, like, that's all she wanted to do was use her voice and her music to transform people's lives. Like, it was always in her head. She was always doing it. And I think what was interesting about her story in that regard was she wasn't always successful. So like, she was great in middle school, high school, big fish in a small pond, like classic situation. She goes to Liberty University, one of the largest Christian universities in the country. She walks in, auditions, and they were like, "No, like you're not good enough to be on the team."
Like the choir team?
Or even just like the band, like to like play guitar and sing.
Oh, okay.
Like for the music on the weekend, like crazy. And I mean, she probably wasn't that good back then compared to what she was, what we would have heard her. But for her, it wasn't an indicator that she should quit and she wasn't good enough. It was an indicator that she should keep going and get better. Yeah. And so she developed like a music career, like my mini career in Lynchburg. Like she became a singer-songwriter. She would play coffee shops. She would do bars. She would go around do festivals, and it was all like kind of folksy singer-songwriter stuff. Yeah. And that really, like, her getting shut down from the college pushed her down this path of writing songs that were not faith-based, and kind of took her that direction. And then when she kind of came back to Ohio, she got married, and then she went to Nashville to really like kind of strike out in her music career. Yeah. And it just seemed like it was issue after issue after issue and opportunity after opportunity to give up and to quit. Like, she moves to Nashville, she gets cancer. She gets out of her cancer. her husband was not particularly supportive, and he was a musician as well, and
he wasn't supportive of what?
Of her music side of things.
Why?
Because he was also a musician, and he wanted to prioritize kind of his own career path over hers.
Do you think that was part of her cancer?
Oh, the emotional part of that for her was huge. Like, it was even until the day that she died. Her divorce from him and him leaving was a huge piece of her mental health. That was something she really wrestled with for a long time.
Was it important for her to get divorced before she passed away?
No. So what happened was so she gets married, she goes to Nashville, she gets cancer once, she kind of gets through it, she's kind of doing her music thing, she gets cancer again. And her husband was like, I'm out.
That guy.
So he was gone.
He's that guy. Okay.
Yeah. So he was like, I'm not sticking around for this or whatever. And so really that's what pushed us into, as a family, like we really rallied at that point because, the one who said till death do us part and sickness and in health decided.
Did they have children?
No. They didn't have kids. So
Is he in your life at all?
No. I mean, we called him the day she passed and let him know.
Because you guys are a courteous family.
Yeah. We're just like, we're going to treat him well. And that's just, there's no reason not to. And so, but that divorce, like over, her time, those last 2 years really weighed on her a lot. And
did she think she did something wrong?
Yeah. I think not everyone. I think it's people in that sort of situation, your husband leaves you in your darkest moment. Like, of course you're going to have those questions of like, was I not good enough? Like, what did I do to deserve this? What did I do to you, to cause you to, am I not lovable? And, like all of those things kind of go down your brain.
He looked at her as damaged.
I don't know. Something like I don't even understand the psychology of it, where it's like,
well, because you don't think that way.
I guess I understand, like, this is stressful for you too. Like, your wife has cancer and is financially burdened, and like, it's difficult, and I understand.
It wasn't his priority.
It wasn't his priority.
No, his priority was himself. Okay, moving on.
Totally. So that was he pretty much just chose himself, and in hindsight, it's funny because hindsight's definitely 2020. In hindsight, it was kind of a blessing that he was gone, because it allowed us as a family to be able to be the ones that cared, and it also allows us now to be able to carry the mission forward. Like, he would not be doing this with her life had she passed.
So when she sang, she said when she sings, she's Nightbirde.
Yeah.
What the derivation of Nightbirde?
Yeah. So that I get that question a lot.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, I get a lot. And it's a really cool story, and it actually ties into these gifts of hope.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to give this to you for when. Yeah. For when you're ready to show us.
So Jane just had, like I said, this knack for like not giving up. She was just gonna like consistently be the one that just like pushes and pushes and pushes, just never quitting.
Even till the day she died.
Until the day she died. Oh my gosh, the day that she died, she was singing with Mom, and she was talking about how she and Simon were gonna make this album, and she was talking about
she at home?
She was at her house in California.
Okay. But
family was there. And even the day that she passed, nobody knew she was gonna pass. Like, I don't think she knew. She was vibrant, she was alive, she was happy.
That's important.
She just was like...
We have experience with that the vitality of people doesn't necessarily dictate their health overall. Yeah. And so what I'm hearing is, though, despite her death, she didn't really suffer.
Oh no, there was no suffering for her. I mean, granted, like end of life stuff is tough. Like she had a lot of, it was distended, and there was like stuff like that where she had to do some drainage and things like that. But from a mental vitality portion, and the thing is, she looked great. And this is like, in my mind, this is what integrative medicine does, is it builds the body up even as the cancer is tearing it down. So even though she was riddled with cancer, her hair was great, her nails were great, her skin was vibrant, she still looked very beautiful, even in her state of passing. But yeah, so even the day that she died, like, nobody saw it coming. Like, literally, it was towards the evening, she went to bed, like, left the room, or I was at home, and my aunt came back in to check on her, and she was gone. That night. It was just like, she just kind of closed her eyes and then fell asleep.
Your mom's sister?
Yeah, my mom and my dad and my brother were out there. I wasn't, and this is the most annoying thing. I had to fly back a few days before she died because my driver's license was expiring. Mm-hmm. So I flew back on my birthday, which is February 15th, because it was the last day that my license was still valid to get back to Ohio, and she passed on the 19th. So like the last time I saw her was on my birthday.
Oh, I think you weren't there.
I was not there when she passed, because I flew all the way back to Ohio.
Does that matter to you?
Kind of. I wish I would have been, but my little sister Caitlin wasn't out there. So she would have been alone in Ohio with no family, and she had heard the news that
Did Jane care that you weren't there? It didn't matter in the grand scheme?
No.
So you don't beat yourself up about it?
I beat myself up about it in a little bit of like, man, I wish I would have had those extra 4 days with her. Yeah. But I don't really feel like, oh, Jane would have been really upset if I wasn't at her bedside when she passed. Like, Jane wouldn't have cared. Yeah. Because, like, it's important. Life, it's like the way we live our lives and spend our lives with our family is way more important than those, those moments of, it's easy to not live life with somebody for however long and then be there at their deathbed. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, that's an easy thing to do because it doesn't take a lot of investment. It just takes like a very short time window. But I think it's a lot different when you've invested your life in caring for someone and then you miss a moment. It's like the grand scheme of it's already shown your love and care for her.
You know, but it's interesting because a lot of times we focus on those little negative things that disrupt the continuum of the good. Like that little negative, like I wasn't there for the last 4 days, but I dedicated my life. Or your brother, quit his job and was there. It's like all that continuum of goodness that you were there. Mm-hmm. So. So I hope that's getting easier for you. Yeah, it is. The things that I'm mourning now are more things like, my daughters aren't going to grow up with Jane. Mm-hmm. Those are the things that make me the most sad. Yeah, it's just like they'll know Jane from TV and they'll know Jane from all the things that we do, but they're not going to know Aunt Jane. I have to say, most likely if Jane didn't pass away from cancer, I would not have come to know you. Oh yeah. And I would not have, known your sister. But now that I know you, I wish I would have known your sister. Yeah. Just given the line of work that I'm in and, how emotional I am when, the one time that I saw her perform on a random, for me, YouTube video. Yeah. So then memorializing her with the Nightbirde Foundation and this gift of hope that you have. Yeah. So our audience about that. Yeah, totally. So we have two main missions, or one mission that's kind of put together, and we want to bring hope and we want to bring healing to women with breast cancer. Is it young women? Young women primarily on the grants. These will go to pretty much any woman with breast cancer or even cancer. Okay. And the goal for us is to be able to take Jane's life and her audition and everything that we felt and all of the things that we experienced, from her quotes to her life to her words, is these. And so aside of this, we have a Nightbirde Foundation mug. We have a book of Jane's poetry, which was this. Simon Cowell wrote the foreword of this to us. Did he ask to do that? We asked him to do it, but he was very gracious in doing that for us. We have her CD of her music, and then we have the magnet with the quote of "You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore" before you decide to be happy. But one of the things that these boxes contain as well, it's not in this particular one, is there's a tumbler that says, "Don't you want to see what happens if you don't give up?" And it ties into the Nightbirde story of what you asked before, like why Nightbirde. Jane was having this recurring dream when she was going through her chemo initially when she was in Nashville, and it was this dream where she would fall asleep and she'd hear these birds chirping like really loudly outside of her window. And she'd wake up and it's like 3 a.m, dark, and there's no birds. So she's like, that's weird. So she goes back to sleep. Next night, same dream, wakes up, no birds. Next night, same dream, no birds. The last night, she wakes up, same dream, wakes up, but there are actually birds singing outside her window, again, middle of the night, 2 or 3 a.m. And this realization hits Jane in that moment. She goes, these birds are singing in anticipation of a dawn that they can't see yet. They're singing as if the sun had already risen, but it hadn't. Like they were singing in anticipation of a dawn that had yet to come. Wow. And so Jane thought in that moment, she goes, I want to be like them.
Like, I want to be a nightbird. Like, I want to sing in the dark in anticipation of light that I can't see. And so she really grabbed onto that of like, there's light that's coming, even though it's dark. So we can't respond to our darkness as just being in darkness, but she's like, I'm going to sing, I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to live a life that's hopeful of a dawn that I've yet to see yet. And so that's like, you see it through her whole life. Like she walked onto a stage singing, really in a pretty dark spot. I mean, you're 29 years old, 30 years old, you're stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, you have cancer in your liver, your lung, your spine, your husband has left you, you don't have a job, your music career, it might work, it might not, you don't know what your life looks like. But she wasn't going to let any of that stop her. Like, all of that darkness could have weighed her down, but instead it freed her up. And so that's what we want to do with these gifts of hope, is we want to be able to hand that same message to ladies that are in the dark. Like, they're having really rough days. They're having really rough chemo days. They're getting their wig fitting. They're doing the prosthetics for the bra. It's after vasectomies. Like, there's just women out there that have no hope, and they're in the darkness, and they don't know what it looks like to sing.
Wow.
And so for us, like, that's what those gift boxes do.
Yeah.
And we distribute those, in cancer treatment centers, hospitals, places like,
I can see the draw for the cancer treatment centers and the hospitals, because sometimes there's not a lot of hope. I mean, unless you're going for chemotherapy at the same time as this person that you happen to meet, and you give each other hope. Yeah. I remember in our IV room, not at this clinic, but in Old Town Scottsdale where we used to be, there were people who regularly came around the same time, each couple times per week, and they formed a band.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, they never produced anything, but they had a band, they played music together. That's really cool. Is there a favorite poem or two that you have?
Oh man, there's a lot that are great in here. There are probably 2 of them in here that are really helpful. So one of these is,
who illustrated it?
One of our friends did. She did a great job. Oh yeah. So this is just my favorite one. And this is really like, it's grief. It's called When Grief Comes Knocking. And I'll read it. Because this one here is like, it's good for those who have lost somebody to cancer, or to just in grief in general. But there's also grief that comes with, especially with breast cancer, like you lose some of your femininity. You can lose some of like who you were, and that grief is real because you've lost something. And Jane says, when grief comes knocking, answer the door, let her in. Let her tell you all that was lost. Let her remind you of how marvelous it was. Let her paint your memories in slow motion. Let her sing your story with the cello. Let her teach you gratefulness and how to pay attention. Do not turn her away at the door. If you do, she will come back again knocking. Let her speak her peace. Let her do her work, cleansing you of your tears. Then send her on her way. Then you can sleep through the night without waking from her tapping. When anger comes pounding, do not try to convince him that he has no right. Open the door and let him roar. Roar back, roar together. Let anger have his moment, his voice. Listen to him and be changed. Let him teach you about justice, and let him remind you of the difference between how things are and how they should be. For if you don't, he will rage at the door all hours of the night, and you may think that it's someone you love who's causing your unrest. Anger will not leave until you hear him, so let him in, reason with him, then open the door and send him on his way. When disappointment comes ringing the bell, invite her inside and listen carefully. She will be a guide to reveal the secrets of your heart. To listen to disappointment is to listen to your own dreams. She will show you the things you wish for but don't yet have the courage to ask. Do not turn her away, or she will be scratching at your windows. She will be ever whispering. Let her say what she will, and she will leave you when her work is done. This is great. Though they are not pleasant guests, these visitors come with gifts. Let them do their work, and once they have done it, open the door again and say goodbye. And don't forget to smile and thank them for coming.
Oh boy. Wow. All right. I don't know. I just have a question about. I feel like the audience at the end of her AGT audition. What do you say to that? Unreal.
It's crazy.
Why do you think anger was a guy?
That's a good question. It's a good question. I didn't think about the gender shift.
I didn't know if it was like
in there.
female, male.
Oh, it probably could have been pacing, poetic pacing or not,
Yeah.
but
Poetic pacing.
yeah,
Well said.
who knows?
Yeah.
But I often have to come back to that like myself because grief knocks on my door a lot.
Thank you for that.
So that one that one gets me a lot because my tendency is to not let grief in, to not let anger in, to not let disappointment in, and then I'm wondering why I'm frustrated at this, that, and the other. It's because those things go undealt with.
Well, and as men, we're probably like,
I'm
not opening
That's
that
right. I'm
door.
not opening that door. I'm strong,
Yeah.
And there's something to be said too about how she's like, let them in, let them speak their piece, and then we'll let them out.
Yeah. I mean, that's now my new motif.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're not inviting them to stay.
Yeah.
Like grief's not moving in, and disappointment's not moving in, and anger's not moving in. You're letting them come in and do their work and then leave.
Wow.
And there's something beautiful, I think, about the ability to do that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm a little speechless right now. That was pretty powerful.
It's a good.
You give a lot of gifts to a lot of people.
Yeah.
We have a gift for you.
Oh,
Actually. So we're very interested. You can throw it if you want. Okay, so we always have this as a centerpiece on our table. And this is a product made by Aries Tech. Aries. Sure. The website is ariestech.com. And we're just very concerned about harmful EMF, electromagnetic frequencies to the human body. We've created with Aries, this is an EMF safe zone. And so this is one that has about 140 feet of protection, or so you're protected. I happen to love one of their products. It's called the Aries Tech Flex. I wear it around my neck.
Cool.
And so we partnered with them to allow our guests to have one. So we have one
Oh,
for
awesome.
you.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so you can,
This is
as
great.
you're doing your work, if you so choose, I mean, you don't have to wear it around your neck, you can carry it somewhere, but we wanted to give you an Aries Tech Flex. Let's open it up and check it out. Let's get it on.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere, that airplanes are full.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been thinking about that. I spend a lot of time on airplanes, just in terms of just
Flying
travel
around,
or flying or doing other things. And, I've been thinking about getting something like this. So this is this is awesome.
And I'll show you, so you have nails?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see.
Sweet. Yes.
So there's that, and then underneath is the necklace.
Cool.
There you go.
This is
So
awesome.
yeah, I'm happy to set up for you. You can do it, but
This is great.
you can put it around a bag or something like that. Just don't anybody snag it. But
Yeah.
they're really good. We wear ours all the time.
They're
A
awesome.
lot of us around the clinic wear them. And no, it's so you just kind of get mine out. You just kind of, I can do it for you if you just look through
I
that
see,
thing,
I
and
see.
then it just hangs. One size fits most, unless you have an enormous head, you can't get it around it. It's really, especially around planes, and if you're in airports a lot, this could help you sleep better, especially if you're changing time zones. You head into hotels where there's Wi-Fi everywhere. Have devices. So
This is great. Well, thanks for this.
yeah,
This
absolutely.
is awesome. This is awesome.
So tell us about, it was a benefit. Unfortunately, I had plans before I found out about it. I couldn't make it. But Andrea and Dr. Graffius were there yesterday. They said it was really nice. It was down in Gilbert, Arizona.
Yeah.
And they said there was a great turnout. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So it was kind of our first one. We call them our Knights of Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal for us is to be able to share, Jane's story with people who maybe have never heard it before, or they've seen the audition video and they might know Jane and love Jane from that space, but they don't really understand what happened after.
Mm-hmm.
And so and I think I shared this story with you last time we were together, is one of the key parts of that night is talking about just the power of generosity over time, and how that generosity just cascades. So it was, I think, 4 or 5 weeks before Jane passed away, I saw this big payment go out of her bank account, and I was like, it was like $20,000, and I called her up and I said, hey, I want to make sure that you did this. I'm not mad about it. I just want to make sure that it was you. And she goes, yeah, it was me. There was a lady named Elaine who was in my cancer clinic, and she had run out of funds. She was early 30s, breast cancer, was going to have to go in hospice, and she wasn't going to be able to continue her treatments. And so Jane was like, "This money was freely given to me. Like, why would I not freely give it to somebody else who needs it?"
Well, she paid it forward.
So she paid it forward from that GoFundMe that she had, gave it to Elaine, and then Elaine, then Jane passes away like 3 or 4 weeks later. And so we continued, paying for Elaine's treatment, and we were able to keep her alive for like another year or so, which was, and a lot can happen in a year,
Heck yeah.
So
It's a big year.
It's a big year. So she passed away, but we sort of like, we tell that story to be able to share, like, Jane gave 20 grand away to save a life, but like, we have the opportunity to give, we give $100, we give $50, we give $10,000, like, you can give whatever you need to. But there was another story that I was sharing, and it's actually a patient that I'm going to refer to you pretty soon. But there was a lady in San Diego, California. She kind of gone through our grant process to get some funding because she's like, mid-30s, breast cancer, 3 kids, wanted to go a more integrative route, didn't want to just go full conventional. So we kind of went through the grant process, and we sat down for coffee, and we were, I was about ready to tell her that what her award was and kind of how we were going to work it out. And her name is Jade. And she was like, "I've been thinking and praying about this a lot." She's like, "I've just been really blessed. And I have a friend who's in her late 30s, breast cancer, 5 kids, who lives in Dallas. And she just doesn't have the money to do the integrative work. And she, to be able to have quality life, to take care of her kids and be able to do that." She's like, "Is there any way that I can just take this grant money and give it to her instead?"
Yeah.
And so it was like the power of like the GoFundMe generosity to Jane's generosity to even our generosity has created more generosity that's downstream by our patients.
This is hashtag human kindness.
Like, for sure. It's pretty incredible. So the benefit was really just structured around sharing those stories, and then obviously just raising some money for some people that are here, in the Phoenix area. So with in terms of the fundraising, like those gift of hope boxes, we're starting to form partnerships. Obviously, we've given them away here, but we've started to talk to Honor Health and Banner to give those away. But for a sponsorship of those, they're $100 to sponsor a box. Mm-hmm. But a portion of that $100 goes into a grant fund to help pay for women's treatment that are young women with breast cancer that want to get integrative care.
And that money goes fully for integrative care.
Correct.
Okay, that's really important.
The important part, yes. Yeah, we're not paying copays. We're not, the way that we structure it is we work with people like yourself to be able to identify women that need it. And then also we just pay the bills directly through the clinic. So we're not writing checks to individuals, but we're working with the provider to get a good plan together and then pay for the things that are the highest value.
So then how do women who are in need of these funds, how do they find you?
Yeah, so you can go to nightbirdefoundation.org.
And how is Nightbirde spelled?
And with an E at the end. So it's NIGHTBIRD is important. Yeah. At the end of it. And there's a process, but generally the way that we do the grants is we kind of rely on the providers to nominate.
Got it.
That's
kind of I didn't know that.
That's my preferred method because it checks a lot of boxes. One, it shows that they actually have an integrative provider that they were working with. 2, you've done the vetting of like, is this person actually sick? Do they need the funds? What's their plan? How's it going to work? Whatever. And then there is some sense of financial need that you've identified as well, of saying, okay, this person fits the criteria, but they have a house in Miami and in Seattle and in Phoenix. They don't really need your grant as much as somebody that's, the single mom of 5 or whatever that, could really, a meeting with you, some genetic testing, and a really good protocol put together for supplements and stuff like that, that's out of reach for a lot of people financially. And it's not because you guys are crazy, expensive. It's just because that's the reality of the situation. Insurance doesn't cover it. You got to pay out of pocket, and that's the way it goes.
Yeah, and it's important too because you have to get to know your physicians. Because what if a doctor's just looking for a fast buck?
100%. And I had this. Actually, it's funny that you bring that up. This lady that her name's Carrie. I'm gonna refer her to you and pay for a consult here. she is seeing a naturopath in Dallas, somewhere outside of like Cowell or somewhere like that. She was obviously friends with Jade. Jade said, "Hey, give the grant funds to her." So I call her naturopath, and she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do an RGCC test, and we're gonna do this other thing, and we're gonna do this other thing." And I remember getting off the phone thinking, I'm not sure I want to pay for this.
I wouldn't.
Because like you and I had that conversation, like 4 weeks ago,
Yeah.
like it's not really great. And so I kind of had a little bit of hesitation around it, but I was still like thinking about how I was going to handle it. And Carrie, the patient, she called me yesterday, 2 days ago, and she goes, "Hey, I want to shoot straight with you a little bit." She goes, "I'm thankful for your grant." She's like, "I just don't want to do the RGCC test." And I was like, okay. So now we're in a much better spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, let's move away from the provider that you're using right now, and like let's get you over to Dr. Rubin's crew. Let's let them put together the best plan. And it's going to be I know this can't be recorded because I'm talking about personal information, but it'll be a lot more remission focused, you know, in terms of the treatment. So all of that to say, you've been a great resource for me in terms of like what to look for in a good provider, because just because they're on a list somewhere as a naturopath doesn't mean
we're
that
all
they're
for belief in abundance and all the providers out there that are legitimate and doing good work, and it absolutely and certainly does not have to be us because there's so many good providers out there.
Oh yeah, totally. And this one made a lot of sense for me because it was specifically around that.
Yeah.
But like I work with people all over the country, so it's not just like I'm not just
I just want to
funneling. I'm just like funneling funds to Dr. Rubin like over here.
That is not happening.
It's not happening. We're not doing it. Yeah. So I work with Dr. Kaplan up in Buffalo, and Dr. Keneally in Irvine, and there's a couple others down in San Diego that we've worked with, and then there's a couple. There's one in Nashville that we touched base with as well. And then obviously I think it was Jen Green.
Heck, you can mention Jen Green's name all day.
Yeah.
Besties.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So I still need to get up and see her because she's like 3 hours away from me. She's a drive.
Absolutely.
Easy drive.
I just actually talked to her 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a little Jen Green story. So Jen Green, naturopathic oncologist. So I called her so today's Friday, so I called her on Tuesday, I believe. I was out on just like a run or a walk or something like that. I've been needing to get in touch with her, had my phone, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to call it. She's driving. It's like, pulls over. She's in Michigan. It's freezing out there, right? I'm in Phoenix. And she's like, you know what? There's a walking path. This is our time to talk. So she pulls over. She starts going on a walk and then starts FaceTiming me and showing me wild turkeys.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, walking on. And then we had a really good chat and caught up. And that's great. So anyhow, thanks for bringing up Dr. Jen.
Yeah. I'm excited to connect with her because you recommended her last time we spoke, and all of that. So yeah, I'm more and more excited as time goes on about the work that we're doing. Mainly because it's checking those boxes of like, we're checking the box of the mental health side of it. It's like, you need hope. You need to believe that you can survive. You need to believe that your treatments are going to work. You need to believe that, that you're going to make it. But you also need treatments that are going to work. Yeah. Because you can't just have
testing to figure out what to do, because then that saves money in the long, extends that, and then it's just it's that N of one phenomenon. Yeah,
for sure. So it's like those two things, and so even like being able to do benefits like that, we don't have a huge endowment. We're not like a massive organization. We're donor driven.
It's getting there.
And so for us, it's just like I'm just trying to be as scrappy as I can to pull in as many people as possible to be able to raise the money to be able to change lives. And like I'm just grateful to be a part of that mission. Like I could go make a lot more money somewhere else doing other things, but doing this I don't ever think that I work. Like work is just not even a concept. I just don't think about it. It's like, this is just life, Now, if you ask my wife if I work, she'll give you an effort. She'll give you an effort.
Well, you're here in Phoenix right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so like, there's a difference there, but the joy of the work, I think, is really what drives me. It's like not just remembering Jane. Remembering Jane is great, and we should always remember her because she's amazing. But like, the more stories that we sort of accumulate of impact of like, man, these people are like, Elaine was able to like meet her niece and nephew and be able to like teach them how to braid hair, and like you think about those little like very small moments, but it's like we extended her life long enough to like increase the quality of her relationships, for the rest.
Now we have the stories. Stories are important. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having
It was
me.
really nice to talk to you on this level.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks.
For Rubin On Point, we really hope you enjoyed it as much as we just did.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, we're happy you are. What's your name?
My name's Jane. When I sing, I go by Nightbirde.
Oh, that's nice.
Nightbirde?
That's right.
Do you sing for a living?
Not recently.
Where are you from?
I'm from Zanesville, Ohio.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 30.
30 years old. And the dream is to be a singer. What are you going to be singing for us tonight?
I'm singing an original song called It's Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It is. It's okay.
It's okay.
What is It's Okay about?
It's Okay is the story of the last year of my life.
All right. And who are you here with?
I'm here by myself.
It's okay. And what do you do for a living?
I have not been working for quite a few years. I've been dealing with cancer.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right.
Can I ask you a question? How are you now?
Last time I checked, I had some cancer in my lungs, my spine, and my liver.
Wow.
So you're not okay.
Well, not in every way, no.
You got a beautiful smile and a beautiful glow, and nobody would know.
Thank you. It's important that everyone knows I'm so much more than the bad things that happen to me.
Yes.
All right. Sing for us.
Good luck. Nightbirde.
I moved to California in the summertime. I changed my name thinking that it would change my mind. I thought that all my problems, they would stay behind. I was a stick of dynamite and it just was a matter of time, yeah. Oh dang, oh my, now I can't hide. Said I knew myself, but I guess I lied. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all a little lost, and it's alright. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all a little lost, and it's alright. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. I wrote 100 pages, but I burned them all. Yeah, I burned them all. I blow through yellow lights and don't look back at all. I don't look back at all. Oh dang, oh my, now I can't hide. Said I knew what I wanted, but I guess I lied. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all a little lost, and it's alright. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. If you're lost, we're all a little lost, and it's alright. Oh, it's alright to be lost sometimes.
Wow.
You know, it's funny because singers come on and I think about authenticity. You know, when you feel it, when it moves you, that felt like the most authentic thing I have heard this season.
That was surprisingly beautiful. It was powerful, it was heartfelt, and I think you're amazing.
You gave me chills. I mean, your voice is so beautiful to listen to. It was beautiful all the way around.
Your voice is stunning.
It is.
Absolutely stunning. And I totally agree with what Howie said, you know, about authenticity. There was something about that song after the way you just almost casually told us what you're going through and, you know.
You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy.
There are, however, there have been some great singers this year. And I'm not going to give you a yes. I'm going to give you something else. Everything about that was really special. Good for you. Good for you.
I have a 2% chance of survival, but 2% is not 0%. 2% is something, and I wish people knew how amazing it is.
You blew us all away. You are the voice we all need to hear this year.
That was way more than okay. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
God, that really got to me.
It pushes all the heartstring buttons, right?
And yet she's still so strong.
Thank you for joining us on Rubin On Point, a podcast about cancer, resilience, and most of all, about being human. I hope today's conversation inspired you to see new possibilities for growth, healing, and strength in your life. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could use a little extra resilience in their day. Remember, no matter what challenges you're facing, resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about building a life of purpose, connection, and vitality. Until next time, stay strong, stay healthy, and take care of yourself and those around you.